Commission meeting. Pleased to have you here. We'll do a quick roll call. We're going to ask Tom to do a roll call, check who's on virtually and who's with us here in person. Just a note and a reminder, I guess, two things. One, as you speak, if you please spell your name for the stenographer so we can get that correct. And that goes for both those in person and on here virtually. And then two, just for the speakers, use your microphones. So make sure we capture here completely. So with that, Tom, would you do a roll call, please?
Sure. Commissioner Brunheiser.
Present.
Commissioner DeBunda. Commissioner DeBunda. Commissioner Egloff. Commissioner Egloff. Commissioner Ellis.
Here.
Thanks, John. Commissioner Ellis.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Lark.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Ruddy.
Here.
Commissioner Sweeney.
Here.
And back to Commissioner DeBunda. You got a quorum, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you, Tom, and we'll anticipate Commissioner DeBunda joining us here in a minute. But for the record, this meeting was properly advertised in accordance with the Sunshine Law. The Commission conducted an executive session this morning that's noted on the agenda to engage in quasi-judicial deliberation to be adjudicated at the public meeting and to engage in attorney-client privilege litigation. With that, again, just a welcome to all. As guests, it sounds like we'll have at least one public comment. Yeah, sounds good. And I see Commissioner DeBunda. Welcome. Okay, thank you. We can see you.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Okay. Good.
Most of them.
All right.
Yeah, I went to seeing him out here.
All right, thank you. So with that background, let's go ahead and pick up with the agenda with the public meeting minutes.
Yeah, as I stated, I did not receive the transcript to get the meeting minutes done, so respectfully, Mr. Chair, a motion to table would be in order.
Okay, Tom, thank
So
you.
moved, Commissioner Mark.
Commissioner
Second,
Martin,
Rogers.
Second, and Commissioner Rogers on the second. No discussion on the table and motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, two presentations. I know we've had a substitute here on the financial report. Tom is going to give us a financial report for May.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll start with the racing fund. The beginning cash balance was $8.7 million. Revenues for the month were 1.5. Total expenditures for the month were 2.2, which left an ending balance of a little over $8 million, $8,065,000. Moving into the Horse Racing Commission, revenues were a total of $771 for the month, made up of taxes and penalties of $655, non-tax revenue was $116. Personnel was at $431. The total operating expenses were $77,000, total of $509,000. In the individual operating categories, everything else is pretty much in line. Moving into the testing, total revenue was $780,000. Personnel was $334. Operating was $889. The lion's share of that was to make sure we were all caught up with UPenn. UPenn is caught up, and they are current. So the total expenditures were $1.2 million. Any questions on that? Moving on to the racehorse promotions, obviously no revenue. Under expenditures, there were two expenditures. One went to the Pennsylvania Harness Horsemen's Association for $63,000, and the PHRA was $430,000. just on an annualized basis for this year, I think everything short of about $10,000 has been submitted. So we are current on that. The next item is the comparative 2022 versus 21 through May. Total revenue was a little over 18 million. Month ending last year was 20 million, down about approximately $1.5 million. The lion's share is in taxes and penalties. The non-tax revenue, one of the commissioners had asked previously, that was the outs. Most of the outs have been cashed, unlike previous years, and I think that's due to coming back racing and so on. They sat last year, they were cashed out this year. That's $736,000. So basically, you're down about $1.6 million. Personnel is at $8.6 million, down about $190,000 from a year ago. When you look at the operating, it's 7.2, up about 1.2. The lion's share of that is obviously almost 750,000 in the specialized services. That's UPenn, kept current this year, unlike in the past. Total expenditures were 15.8 million versus 14.8. Everything's pretty much in line here. The last three items in your booklets are the PA Breeding Fund, Standardbred Breeding Fund, and the Sire Stakes. Those are standard reports and they're in line. That's the financial report.
Tom, thank you. Questions on the financial report for me?
Commissioner Rogers, just remind us, Tom, on the racehorse promotion, was there a carryover from last year? Because we're showing expenditures exceeding the revenue.
Commissioner Rogers, there was, I think the carryover was about $150,000, $160,000, somewhere right in there. I don't have the exact number, but a waiver was granted and we carried over about $150,000.
Thank you.
Further questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, again, we don't vote on financial reports, so we'll move to the HISA implementation letter review. Tom?
All right, HISA. HISA is the racetrack safety program is scheduled to start effective July 1st. As people are well aware, over the last several months, the staff on behalf of this commission has conducted a series of meetings with HISA, with RSI, the Mid-Atlantic, the regulatory boards, and what we've come, it's a fluid situation. At the beginning of this, HISA wanted voluntary implementation agreements signed or MOUs, all right? And this commission has come to the decision that due to either Commonwealth contractual issues, legal issues, operating issues, or personnel concerns, that neither one of those documents could be signed. The commission also has taken a position to try to balance the HISA requirements and what's in the best interest of PA racing. And I've explained why we couldn't sign the voluntary agreement or MOU. We sent a letter to HISA last week as a potential option to maintain racing, which is of absolute importance to this commission, to maintain its integrity and preserve the commission's regulatory mandate and statute. The letter just simply states what the commission is prepared to do come July 1st when the state racetrack safety rules become effective. It's not a contract, it's not a binding agreement, and it can be modified at the commission's discretion. We sent that last Wednesday to HISA. An initial response from HISA was it looked good, but we've had no further discussion. One other note, and we've advised, staff has advised the commission, we believe as this progresses that there will be a series of modifications and changes. This program could look different than it does today. We're still waiting anti-doping. The anti-doping medication program, out of competition testing, Those rules have been written. They're up for public comment. They have not been approved by the FTC. So as far as the letter goes, what we attempted to do is meet the HISA requirements and maintain control. The people we named in the letter are people that work for this commission. They answer to this commission, and they'll carry on the duties as seen. We will make our best efforts to do this, but we tried to maintain our regulatory mandate, our regulatory control. George, Tony, any other things I missed?
Tom, thank you. We'll open for any comments. I mean, you said this several times when I saw the letter last week when it was drafted and sent. And I think it finds that balance, Tom, that you mentioned at the outset. It's difficult to do. I think all of us understand and appreciate sort of what the national interest is. However, you know, it's fairly funky to get there, right? And we're not going to jeopardize, you know, our racing or integrity racing and the jurisdiction responsibilities that we have in Pennsylvania, this commission has. So I think expressing that to the chief executive officer, and more importantly, just expressing it is to actually constructively provide some, you know, solutions to what they're aiming to achieve, right? And we're very explicit in the letter. So that letter will be made part of the record here today with this review. I just want to acknowledge the work of Tom and Tony and council to submit this letter. So thank you. Further questions or comments? Let me first begin with the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, we'll just make sure we've got the commission's comments, commissioner's comments. Okay? All right, here none.
Hi, Eric Johnston, Hollywood Casino at Penn National, JHNSTON. Just, would it be possible for us, once you do get comment back from HISA, where we're calling it this week, that we can get a copy of what's going to be taken care of by the commission? Obviously, part of that, a lot of that stuff that you guys are on the table to perform is going to fall back as an expense to us. And we do appreciate the commission considering and doing what they're doing. It certainly makes life a lot easier as we go through these trying times at best. Thank you.
I mean, you don't want to do it from the racetracks or something?
Short answer is yes. We'll make sure that after today we can circulate it.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. On the administrative actions, right? Let's do the action.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
We're going to seek a motion for ratification of the submission of the HISA implementation letter by the Bureau Director, by the Thoroughbred Bureau Director. Right, a motion respectively.
Tom, thank you.
So
sir.
moved, Commissioner Lark.
Commissioner Lark, thank you.
Second, Sweeney.
Motion, Dr. Sweeney, thank you. And the second discussion of the motion.
Second.
Yep, a lot of seconds and support. Thank you. Any further discussions? Discussion? If not, all those in favor of approving the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next is a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for July Standard racetracks, Harris, Philadelphia, Mohegan Sun, and Pocono Downs, and the Meadows, Mr. Chair.
Tom, thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the simulcast calendars as stated?
So moved.
Nicole, I'm blaming you. Just don't touch these items.
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Renheiser on the motion and Commissioner Ellis on the second discussion of the simulcast calendar for Hara, Mohegan Sun, Pocono, and Meadows. Hearing none, those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
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 opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next is a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for July for the thoroughbred racetracks for Parks, Penn National, and Presque Isle Downs.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Ellis on the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And, Mr. Jones on the second. Discussion of this motion. Hearing none, those in favor?
Second.
Yeah, thank you. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the motion to... If you're on virtually, please, could you please mute your phone? Okay, I'll just say it loud enough. So again, we have a motion and a second, no discussion on the motion to approve the simulcast calendars for the thoroughbred tracks. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
One additional administrative item is a motion to approve Presque Isle Downs' request to reduce the previously approved 100 live race days to 90 live race days, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you,
So
Tom.
moved, Commissioner Lark.
Mr. Lark, thank you. The motion, a second, please.
Second.
Mr. Ellison, the second. Discussion. This
I'd like
motion.
to know whether this is something that the horsemen agreed to. Maybe you can comment on that for us.
Hit the button, spell your name.
Todd Mostoller, it's Todd Mostoller. Commissioner Jones, we as the board of the Pennsylvania HBPA have looked at the situation that we believe will occur in the month of August and early September. With the decline in the foal crop over the last 10, 12, 15 years, we all know that the horse population that exists not only in the Mid-Atlantic but nationally, when we race in the summertime, it puts a large amount of stress on entries at all the racetracks in the Mid-Atlantic on the thoroughbred side. I don't know about the standardbred side, but it becomes increasingly difficult to fill entries. Colonial Downs will start to operate late July and they will run through the month of August. And what we have found historically is that there are a number of horses that ship from the Fair Hill and the Mid-Atlantic overall that would come to Presque Isle, that once Colonial Downs opens, we believe that additional stress will make it impossible to fill entries for 5 days. There is 5 days of racing that are scheduled during the month of August and the very beginning of September. We couldn't just stick our head in the sand and hope that, entries would be filled. So we looked at all the dynamics. We looked at the possibility of extending the race meet. Unfortunately, when you start to get into early November in Erie, in barns that were intended to run in the summertime and they need to be winterized, we need to get that done. And I don't think I need to explain what the weather in Erie could be in November. Could it be nice? Yes, but could it also be very poor? Yes. So when we looked at the entire dynamics of what was in play, the board had made the decision that in the best interest of racing, that we would recommend to remove the Thursday and Friday, go 3 days a week for the month of August and that first week of September. In addition, we have found that during these times it's very difficult for the better races to fill. We think that that is only going to be a bigger problem this year due to the cost of diesel fuel. It is very expensive now to ship in the Mid-Atlantic. I can tell you personally, I've been charged $3,000 to go to Woodbine. It is it's become very expensive with the economic situation that we're in. So what we've decided to do is those 10 days that those purse dollars were saved, we are going to put a 10% purse increase on the allowance races in hopes that that will encourage some of those horses that I spoke of previously from Fair Hill and other jurisdictions in the Mid-Atlantic it'll give them the purse dollars to potentially make that decision to ship to Presque Isle Downs to participate. So that is why, those are the reasons why, after discussion, we made the recommendation to reduce those 10 days for that specific reason and feel it's in the best interest of the racing program. Because we do not want a situation where we are canceling race cards. We think the optics of that is very poor, something that we will try to avoid at all costs. And based on the dynamics that are currently in play for a number of reasons, that's the recommended solution that we made back to Presque Isle Downs and they have submitted to the commission for adoption. Any questions?
Thank you. Very thorough answer. And, it's good. There's dynamics inside of that I realize that competition for horses, the reservoir, if you will, of possible horses to race. So all of that's a contributing factors.
We try to think of it all, sir. We
Yeah,
might miss
yeah.
it, but
That's good. Thank you. Okay, we had a motion, second discussion. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, adjudications, council.
Thank you, Chairman. First matter is the consolidated appeals of Mary McGinley. These matters are before the Pennsylvania State Horse Racing Commission pursuant to appeals filed by trainer Mary McGinley, who appeared pro se. The appeals are from two rulings, number 20046 PI and number 20048 PI, issued by the Presque Isle Downs Board of Stewards. In summary, ruling number 20046 PI fined appellant $500, assigned 2 medication penalty points, imposed a 15-day suspension on her after the Board of Stewards determined that the horse's sample contained clenbuterol in violation of the Commission's medication and trainer responsibility rules. Second one was ruling number 20048 PI, which fined appellant $1,000 and assigned a half of multiple medication violation point after the Board of Stewards determined that the sample number from the horse contained clenbuterol, flunixin, and phenylbutazone in violation of the Commission's medication and trainer responsibility regulations. The Commission has had an opportunity to review the transcript of the hearing and the evidence of record and review the proposed recommendation from the presiding officer. This matter is now ripe for final determination by this Commission. The following could be the order, assuming it's adopted by this Commission. And now, this 28th day of June, 2022, upon consideration of the testimony and exhibits of record, it is hereby ordered that ruling number 20046 PI and ruling number 20048 PI are hereby affirmed. That's the form of the motion.
Thank you.
So moved, Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. Motion.
Second.
Mr. Nelson, second discussion of this motion. Discussion, all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The second matter is presently before the Pennsylvania State Horse Racing Commission from the appeal of Nicholas Sedaris. Mr. Sedaris appeared pro se, rather scheduled the hearing was pro se for ruling number 21028 PI issued by the Presque Isle Downs Board of Stewards. That ruling issued on August 2nd, 2021 imposed a 30-day suspension of appellant's license after the Board of Stewards determined that a hypodermic needle and syringe were found in the appellant's vehicle on July 4th, 2021 while on racetrack grounds in violation of the Commission's regulations. An in-person administrative hearing was held on March 17, 2022, before a duly appointed presiding officer. Notwithstanding proper service of the hearing notice, appellant, who appeared pro se, failed to appear, and no counsel appeared on his behalf. The Commission has had an opportunity to review the transcript of the hearing and evidence of the record, and review the proposed recommendation from the presiding officer. This matter is now ripe for final determination by this Commission, and following order could be adopted. And now, this 28th day of June, 2022, upon consideration of the testimony exhibits of record, it is hereby ordered that ruling number 21028 PI is hereby affirmed.
Thank you, Councilor. A motion to
So moved.
Mr. Ellis on the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Jones, thank you. Discussion of the Sedaris action. Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Available to do some autographs and meet people. Hopefully we'll have some memorabilia that we might be able to auction off or raffle off for a charity of Dave and his wife Beth Ann's choosing. So, you know, that is, as Tony alluded to, an unbelievable accomplishment, and I think very well deserving. If anyone who knows Dave knows, he's been at this for a long time, and I don't think his competitive juices have dipped at all from the time he was probably just starting out. So it's very impressive. And then, and just one other little sidebar. Although he races all over the country, I'm claiming him because he grew up around here and he does staple here. Ron Burke does go into the Hall of Fame this weekend. An unbelievable accomplishment on his end with the number of wins he puts up every year, the money he wins, the stable he manages, and just all in all, a very high-end operation, and I think a well-deserved honor. So I'd like to congratulate Ron as well. And once he gets through this weekend, we're gonna try to settle in and have an evening or a day to recognize him as well and all his accomplishments. So, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Mike Salinger from Pocono. Mike, are you on?
Hi, Tony. Yeah, I'm here. Can everyone hear me all right?
You're good, Mike.
All right. So it's Mike Zullinger, Zullinger. So last Wednesday we had Ashley Eisenbell from Penn Racing and between Rachel from the PHHA put together a media day where a few of our local TV stations came out and were able to take a ride behind a double-seated dog cart that Ashley brought with her and do a report on racing here at Mohegan Sun Pocono. Everything went very well. It was well received. I've never seen bigger smiles on people's faces after they got to ride behind a horse with Matt McKaylee beside him in the bike. So I just want to give a special thank you to Ashley, Rachel, Matt McKaylee, and Lisa Martin who provided the horse that day. So we'll get some good exposure. We're gearing up for some big race days here, and our Sun Stakes Saturday is August 20th this year. That's all from Pocono this month, Tony. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Barry Brown from Harris. Barry?
Yes, Tony, thank you. Barry Brown, BROWN, Director of Racing for Harris, Philadelphia. We too have had a very active this time of year, late May, since we last convened at this meeting. We had our Invitational Sunday on Memorial Day Sunday. It ended up being a really terrific turnout, probably the largest non-Kentucky Derby crowd we've had since COVID. So we were very pleased with the crowd that day and had several marketing events, including Ashley and the PHRA coming out with their racing simulator. So that was a lot of fun to see them out here. We also, just a couple weeks back, we had a terrific Father's Day. It is traditionally one of our best on-track days of our season. This year, we spiced it up and brought out a Frank Sinatra tribute singer to entertain our guests, and we had the gentleman out here for over 3 hours, and I probably got easily well over 20 compliments of customers just approaching me and thanking us for a terrific afternoon as he entertained our crowd. So it's been, we've had some really strong Sundays, and we hope to continue that as we move deeper into the summer. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Barry. Joe Wilson, Parks, you or David?
Thanks, Tony. It's Joe Wilson, W-I-L-S-O-N. Last month, I think Dave reported that we were going to do a mandatory distribution of our Philly Big Five. On June 1st, which we did, we had $740,000 in the carryover, and that produced a $6.6 million on the card. So that was basically the highest non-PA Derby card that we ran here in the history of the track. Just a comment. I just want to thank commission staff, specifically Tom, George, Tony. I know these guys have been doing a lot of work with HISA, lots of meetings, lots of phone calls, and it was great to hear that you've come to a compromise with HISA. Also like to thank the commissioners for approving that. And I guess I'll reserve final judgment until I see the letter, and then there will be more praise. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joe. Eric, did you have anything?
Yeah, just want to report June 3rd was Penn Mile Day. We had a great crowd that day and set a new all-time handle record of over $4 million, which seems kind of small potatoes after Joe's $6 million for a carryover. But it was a great day of racing. We had 6 stakes that day, 4 with Pennsylvania breds and then the Penn Oaks and the Penn Mile. So it's fun to have the trainers like Joe McGahee and Todd Fletcher, Chad Brown showing up or sending horses down and being represented there. So it was a very exciting day. And moving forward, we have on July 8th our annual ostrich and camel racing, provided we can get the ostriches registered with HISA. That's always a big draw. It's our second biggest day behind Penn Mile Day, so we're really excited about that. And moving forward, Penn National, as a company, is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, so we will have a racing day of celebration on August 19th. The actual anniversary is on the 30th. I'm trying to get in front of it and leverage it for media. We decided on the 19th. So we're expected to have a big day that day, and hopefully I'd like to invite everybody out. If you can join us, we'd love to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric, and undoubtedly you'll have the light of the day with that comment. Matt Ennis from Presque Isle. Matt?
Yes, Matthew, last name is spelled Ennis, E-N-N-I-S. Thank you, board, for the consideration to keep Presque Isle and putting on a good product in August, September, as Todd Mosler had spoken to, by minimizing our product by 10 days. We certainly think that was the right move. We remain here at Presque Isle at attention with HISA and the implementation of it. Look forward to hearing from the board as to the receipt. Through 22 race days here at Presque Isle, we're rather pleased with our handle from an export perspective and look forward to going into our holiday weekend. Next week we have the Carl Boys Stakes for $100,000, and just recently came up with the idea that we submitted to Tom for wiener dog racing on July 4th, which is gaining a lot of traction today already in the local community. So looking forward to a great holiday weekend and a good card for this week. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Mr. Beagle, do you have anything? HHA?
I just want to congratulate Dave Blunt. I've known him a long time, and he deserves everything he gets. He's worked hard at this. And also, Todd said about the horse shortage. It hasn't affected us yet because of the amateur drivers coming on Sunday. It's kept us in, we're able to, and the 2-year-olds are starting now, so, but I agree with them taking 10 days. We took 20 less days in Chester, and it's going to make a big difference this year.
Thank you.
Sam, just state your name for the record and spell it, please.
Beagle.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Kim Hankins, MSOA. Kim, you on?
Yes, I am, and I'd like to thank Scott for hitting all the high points of what's been going on here at the Meadows, and I'd also like to thank the Meadows for their cooperation and also their stepping up to the front with Dave's milestone win. It was a great celebration in the winner's circle, and Scott and the announcer Jeff Ziddick did a fine job of it. So again, congratulations to David, and we look forward to many more. And we have a nice promotion coming up this weekend. We have a full-blown rodeo here with all the events that a normal rodeo has. We look forward to that. And then at the end of July, we have our the Adios coming up. So we've got a lot going on here at the Meadows. Scott's doing a good job cooperating with us and getting things accomplished. So we appreciate it. That's my report.
What's the date on the Adios?
It is the 30th of July.
30th of July. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kim. Todd, did you have anything?
Todd Mostoller, Todbmostoller. We've had a busy last couple of weeks getting our members registered for HISA. I had a general membership meeting last night, and one of the questions at that meeting was regarding the petition that the commission had sent to HISA regarding a 3-year moratorium on the abolition of LASIX. Have we received any kind of notification back from HISA at this point?
As far as that goes, there's no action to be taken until January 1st. They notified us that until the anti-doping and medication, there's no need for anything until January 1st.
So will that 3-year then start January 1st, and these 6 months aren't going to count against that 3-year?
That's correct, because their anti-doping program doesn't start until January.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Todd. Jeff Matty. Jeff, are you on?
Yes, Tony, thank you. This is Jeff Matty, Jeff Matty, Matty. I'd just like to thank Sal, Dave, and Joe Wilson. Us working with the match series, we had 2 nice races here on June 14th. That's a great series, and a lot of our local horsemen participated in that. So as we continue through the match series this year, we look forward to hosting the championships right here at Parks on October 3rd. Yesterday I had the pleasure of seeing Brian Sanfratello. We had 2 PA bred restricted stakes, so it was nice to see champion Pennsylvania bred filly Chuck Wagon make her season debut. And lastly on HISA, our office here alone today signed up over 100 horsemen, so we continue that process. We dedicated a special office that we have not been using for the last few years specifically for registration, so a lot of our horsemen have been active in registering, and those that need any type of help, we're here to help them. So like I said, we're continuing that ball rolling. And again, I'd just like to thank Joe and Dave. They send out group texts through their channels to let our horsemen know and keep them in the loop. We too now have a group text, so the more informed our horsemen can be going forward, the smoother this process will be. So I'd just like to thank everyone, and yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. From the Standardbred Breeders, do we have Jim or Mike Simpson?
This is Mike Simpson, SINPSON. No report today.
Thanks, Mike. Brian, you're up.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Brian, just spell your name for the clerk.
Brian with an I and Sanfratello, SANFRATELLO. In the packets that you received, the slot revenue transfers to the Breeder Fund is enclosed through May. We are up approximately $700,000. A copy of the Thoroughbred newsletter, Mid-Atlantic newsletter is attached. You'll notice our awards are listed there. As Jeff had just mentioned, Chub Wagon was our horse of the year for 2021. And she started off winning a stake yesterday, first time out. So she has raced 12 times. She has 11 wins and 1 second. Phenomenal horse. Our banquet was held on May 13th. We had 7 legislators there, and Mike Lebo was there also. I'd like to thank him and his wife for coming. We put him to work a little bit by giving out a couple of awards. So again, I'd like to thank him. It's a fantastic affair, and everyone had a good time. PA Day of the Races, August 22nd. We extend the invitation to anyone from the commissioner staff at Parks Racing. We'll again have $1 million in purses, and this year we'll have 7 stakes races. 2 of them will be the 2-year-old PA sired, PA bred races. The first 2 that we're running. In the newsletter packet, you'll see an advertisement for that new series. So should be a fantastic day. So again, welcome anyone who wants to come out. We're giving away free gifts to come out. You know, pretty good. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Mr. Chairman, there's one public comment. We'll go to that. And for the public comment, Standardbred trainer and owner Neil Earhart is here. He would like to address the commission on the possibility of changing the process of how horses come off lasix on the Standardbred side. Currently, the way the rule is, just so everybody knows, the horse, once they come off lasix on the Standardbred side, he has to clear off, qualify, have blood drawn to make sure that he doesn't have any lasix in his system, and be scoped to make sure that he didn't bleed again. And then he's eligible to go enter the next week without lasix. So, Mr. Earhart, you have the floor.
Neil Earhart, E-H-R-H-A-R-D. First, I'd like to give my congrats to Dave Malone. He and I started out kind of at the same time. He actually drove horses for me when he had a provisional license yet. So a few of those 20,000, I believe, he did for me. I'm not against the use of lasix, but I'd like to ask the commission to streamline coming off of it. It's sort of a cumbersome and expensive process to go through and qualify a horse. You must have the horse scoped after you qualify. Oftentimes there is not a vet available to do that. I've run into that a few times. They're reluctant to scope you off. They scale on a scale of 1 to 10 on bleeding. And as you may know, any horse can bleed a little bit after a race. It's difficult to come off. I have a couple of horses currently that are sometimes toxic to getting lasix. And if I go to get them off, it's an expensive process, right? At this time, with the economy and shipping horses, it can cost me close to $400 or $500 to get them off of lasix, and it's a lot harder to get off than it is on. I've raced at about every track, probably on the East Coast over the years, and at all of them, I've experienced you can sign a horse off of lasix with an off lasix form. I think Pennsylvania is the only one where you need to qualify to get off lasix. My wife and I have owned several thoroughbreds over the years, and most of them race, in fact all of them I believe race in Pennsylvania, a lot of them right up the road here. I've signed off thoroughbreds in Pennsylvania off of lasix with a form I have a copy of here produced by the Racing Commission. And We've had no problems with it. I just like to ask the commission to simplify it, streamline it, and do the same for standardbreds.
Thank you, Mr. Earhart. The commission will take it under consideration.
Okay.
I think that's it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Tony? Tony, thank you. Tom? Any further commissioners? Those online, I want to make sure we don't miss you. Any other items of business before we close out? Okay.
None for me.
Thank you to all the industry reports and partners. Thank you. A lot of things going on, a lot of important days over the next 60 days. Another thanks to Mr. Brennheiser again for his help with the fair racing and the safety measures being taken. We talked earlier, Dave Malone will do a citation for him to recognize the 20,000 races. So, Mr. Earhart, thanks for helping get us started. That's pretty amazing. It's so amazing. So, think about ways to recognize him as well. And there's one of one as a Pennsylvania resident, right?
Right.
Which is even better.
Just think of how many races he actually drove to get to 20,000 wins.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing.
Right.
A little over 77,000.
I knew you had the number.
Yeah, that's amazing. So we'll congratulate him with the citation as well. But again, to all, thank you for being here. The next meeting will be July the 26th. Again, it'll be a hybrid format. So with that, nothing further, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Mr. Ellis, Mark, and everybody said yes. Okay. All right, thanks. Safe travels. Thank you.